The visual arts in this Northern Rivers region are incredibly important, and yet there is no strong event or focus to showcase the talents in this region. What we're trying to do is to differentiate ourselves and to make artsCape Biennial more of an event that reflects the cultural identity and sense of place and, importantly, the environmental values of this community. We did the event up there at the Lighthouse in 2005, which was a spectacular backdrop, a very challenging site, and this time we've decided to put it down on the Clark's Beach Reserve. Oh, the Clark's Beach Reserve is beautiful, and we still have the divine backdrop of the ocean there. We've got 41 interstate and international artists, all of whom would love to maybe have a higher car.
I think on a very fundamental level that the artworks are in the environment and they're enhancing the environment.
I think that with sculpture it's important to have the right space to show your work. I mean, as a public sculptor, I've always exhibited outside and in accordance with the scale of the place. I think it's relevant to the piece. I think shows like this are fantastic for sculpture because it gives the general public the opportunity to walk around and maybe just come across a show that they haven't been planning to see.
Yeah, sculpture's just totally engaging, you know, and it covers so many people. So you've got a really broad mix of people you can actually put your work out to, which is what I like. It's not closed in a gallery. It's, you know, a lot of people that would never go to a gallery would see these pieces, which I think's important, you know.
You've got a lot to compete with outdoors. I mean, if you're in a big white room, let's face it, you can put anything there and call it art, and obviously it is because it's in a great big white room.
The gallery is a controlled and rarefied environment for the exhibition of art. What outdoor sculpture exhibitions are doing for art is that they're democratising art. They're making sculpture far more accessible to the general public. This year we've got a prominent sculptor from Lennox Head, James Brown, working with boys at risk. So 20 boys through the Uncle Project and through the Youth Activities Centre will be working to put together a sculpture for this show.
The Uncle Project is for boys that don't have a lot of male influence in their life. So the Uncle Project is an opportunity for young fellas to have an older mentor.
Oh, Tom, well done. Looking good, mate.
Conversation is great. I've done a lot of workshops with younger people, and it's when they're busy doing something they tend to start chatting, and as a group those conversations they're quite wonderful.
And you know, they get to be an artist and exhibit in a show too, so it's about pride and building self-esteem.
I want to allow the boys to do their own thing, and then I want to be able to unify it somehow, so it's one work, it's a collaborative work. The best thing about that is the territorial business, so the boys from this area get to exhibit in their space.
There's an artwork in the show by a local artist called Mimi Dennett, whose work is a giant fish that's sewn out of a picnic blanket.
My piece is called The Last Picnic. I'm actually making a large aquarium and putting a big fish in it, and the fish is actually a skeleton of a fish, and it's also based on Damien Hirst's big shark work, because he employed a shark hunter, an Australian shark hunter, to kill sharks so that he could then put them into aquariums and sell them for millions of dollars to people. And because he's so fashionable, everyone wanted one. So then, yeah, lots of sharks were killed for this. And I think he, you know, for him, he's just been on this rampage, and it should be his last picnic too.
I'm Dominique Sutton, and I'm doing a piece for artsCape called Melt in collaboration with another artist, Sasha Reed. While it's not a site-specific piece, it's very relevant to Byron because basically it's just a very simple comment on the rising sea levels, which obviously is quite pertinent, especially along your beach there and everything. And so we're just trying to say this is where it might be in 10 years' time. That's why it's called Melt, because ice caps are melting, the level is rising, and it's just supposed to be a very simple message. And boats are a very symbolic image in a way, in terms of immigration and people coming and landing on the island, and you know, maybe leaving that way if we have to.
They can carry multiple meanings, the pieces, and through conversation, people actually standing next to someone else who may read some other idea into the work creates a conversation. My name is Samantha Collier, and the piece that I'm doing for artsCape is called Existence, which is a series of ceramic eggs in nests, and I work with ceramics and then pit firing with the pieces, so that gives them a particular look about them. Funnily enough, with firing it, because you're always worried with clay, oh, is it going to crack, or is it going to, you know, blow up? And of course one of them did crack, and at first I was like, oh no, it's cracked, but it's not completely broken. It's got this, you know, one of them's got this wonderful crack through it, and that happens to be one of the ones I really love because it's showing this opening, you know, this idea of fragility even more so.
You know, growing up in a panel beater's workshop does strange things to a person. I've always sort of tinkered with the leftover bits. It's, you know, like a lot of industry, it's quite wasteful. My name's Danny Clement. This year's piece for artsCape is titled Sculptors. It's made out of recycled steel, which is what I predominantly work in. That particular work, the Scorpion, it was born out of a fairly unpleasant experience. I was hammering away at this sculpture, which was an ammonite, and I had an old English hammer, which retrospectively I probably shouldn't have picked up and used, and they're closer to iron than steel. And it let go. When they let go, and they can let go, they do it with explosive force, sending off, you know, shards of metal, and it blew out sort of a quarter face of the hammer with 3 shards. 2 of them missed me, and the third one went through my abdomen, bounced off my hip, and severed my lower bowel. That was a work that was sort of born from that experience, you know, lying around in an English hospital, thinking about my finances, thinking about, you know, this evolution of man and our fascination, or our use of money. And it's sort of the Scorpion's like that for me. It's this active evolution.
Because it touches the heart, I think, artwork. I think it's spiritually enriching to see artwork.
Well, I think it's joy. It's joyous, you know. I think that's what these types of events bring to people of all walks of life.
It's just sensational. I think the quality of work is world class, and I think that it'd be great if they could stay for as long as they could.
All 3 pieces the judges described as pushing the boundaries of sculpture.
Surprised, but delighted. Yeah, it was great. A good moment.
I haven't heard one person criticise or make any negative judgments about it. People are really enthused.
We certainly feel very strongly that unless artists are given the quality professional exhibition opportunities that events like artsCape offer, they're just not going to be able to sell or market their work, and the professional development of artists in this region is a prime outcome of this event.